if you ever get comfortable, you get complacent.
Welcome to Leaders of the West, a podcast for innovators and changemakers. I'm your host, Jessie Jarvis, the founder of the West, and I'm sitting down with agriculturalists, entrepreneurs, executives, and everyone in between with the goal of digging into the strategies, mindsets, and lessons that have been crucial to the success of ag and Western. Whether you're carrying on the next generation of your family's operation, starting something from scratch, or determined to climb up the leadership ladder, we're going to inspire you to continue to dream big, growing not just you, but the future of agriculture and Western as a whole. Let's go. It's the first 2 weeks of a brand new quarter, which can only mean one thing. Be a Maker School is open for enrollment. So what exactly is Be a Maker School? It's an online course platform specifically for Western trades. You can learn from home and at your own pace and join a community of makers and entrepreneurs who can support you as you build skills and confidence in your newfound hobby or career. Be a Maker School offers courses in equine photography, cinch making, rawhide and leather braiding, silversmithing and engraving, leatherwork and tooling, and then there's also a business course called The Business of Making, where I am one of the instructors. That course specifically details all of the business aspects behind being a maker. Different sales channels, shipping, marketing, website, branding, email correspondence, goal setting, and a number of other topics. As I mentioned earlier, Be a Maker School is only open for enrollment for the first 2 weeks of every quarter. So if you're interested now, it's definitely worth checking out. Otherwise, you have to wait another 3 months. You can grab all of the info at beamaker.school. Again, that website is beamaker.school. I can't wait to hear how you have inspired and fostered the maker that is inside of you. You guys are in for a real treat today. We have an awesome guest in deCordova who is on the show. He is somebody who knows exactly what it means to carve your own path and to help others do the same. He's a seasoned cattleman and innovative leader within the livestock marketing side of our industry. Ty was raised in Groesbeck, Texas, and he began trading cattle in his teens alongside his dad and his father. They also owned Buffalo Cattle, which is a sale yard. And then he's got more than 25 years of experience in the industry, including spending 2 decades at Superior Livestock Auction. And he now serves as the COO of LiveAg, which is a platform that's really revolutionizing livestock sales and then also equipment sales nationwide. He's also the co-host of the We Live It podcast, which offers insights into cattle markets and ranch life. So if you guys haven't heard of the show, you're definitely going to want to go check it out. In this episode, we talk about the realities of what it's like to start a new business in, we wouldn't necessarily call it a crowded industry by any means, but to really rally a team around a new vision and the mindset shifts that has really shaped Ty's journey. He is a very faithful man, and you can hear that through our interview. So whether you are on the ranch or you're building something from the ground up, Ty's perspective is really going to leave you guys thinking differently about how you show up and who you show up for. It's a great episode. You're going to love it. Let's dive in. Well, Ty, welcome to Leaders of the West. To kick things off, you grew up in Texas. You have really deep roots in the cattle business. How did your upbringing and your family and your background shape where you are and kind of how you see the industry today?
Well, yes, ma'am. My background's in all growing up. My dad had an order buying company, so I kind of started there in the pens of the cattle company. Dad went to work for a company back when he was out of college, out of South Texas, called Lido Land and Cattle, and started order buying cattle for them. In turn, they moved to Groesbeck, where we live today, and started a cattle company with my grandfather and my great-grandfather. My grandfather was one of the first owners that built the first sale barn in Groesbeck, Texas, where we live, until it caught fire and burnt down. I don't remember when that was, but then they got out of it, and some other guys built another one here. But so my family goes back a long ways in the marketing cattle industry. But yes, me and my brother cut our teeth sorting cattle in a cattle company pens with our dad, and grew up buying cattle in sale barns for the order buying company. And then in 2006, me and my dad and my brother purchased a sale barn in Buffalo, Texas. So, and then the whole time before that, before we bought the sale barn, I guess I repped my first set of cattle for Superior Livestock when I was 14 or 15 for me and my brother both. And we, the whole time helping Dad ship cattle. He went to work for Superior when they first, I guess, probably the second or third sale they had. He started working for them, Buddy Jeffers and Jim Odell. So I've been very fortunate in my life to be surrounded with lots of industry leaders that are in the forefront of different things. Lots of mentors, main one being my dad, and then Buddy Jeffers and Jim Odell as well. Then several people throughout that stint of my life through Superior Livestock that I learned quite a bit.
And you haven't necessarily left the cattle livestock marketing realm of things. You have live ag. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
About 2 years ago now, or a year and a half ago, some guys come to us wondering, me and another guy, my name is Jason Barber, wondering if we would be interested in starting a new company. At first it was a hard no. I mean, we love what we did and we were comfortable. But in the process of that being said, I was in the process of some things changing in my life as well. I just changed a lot of things around in the last 5 years of my life on how I lived and what I'd done and how I did things and who I really answered to was in all that was in the process. So it was kind of another one of those deals where they gave us the opportunity, offered us a little ownership, and we decided to make the move and build a company called Live Ag. Jason Barber's my partner. He's been in the purebred industry all his life. He was on the purebred side of where we were. He grew up on a Hereford ranch in Channing, Texas. They've been there since 1904, I think he says, or something like that. That's a long time. I mean, they ranched there a
and
long.
They are a very well-known family.
Yeah, the Barber Hereford. So we gave him a hard time about him being a Barber Hereford all the time, but they go way back in the purebred industry and they're well respected in that set. And Jason, they kind of went to Jason first and he kind of brought me on and we'd become close friends. I'd stayed and I spend more time at his house. Sometimes I felt like that I did my own because of where he lived and where we worked. So we traveled a lot together and got to know each other real well. And we're just super excited to be in a business together, to watch it grow together on the foundation that we're building it on. It's like we tell our team all the time, we want to sell cattle, we want to sell equipment, and we want to do many other things. But first and foremost, we got to keep God first and keep that foundation in front of us and really understand what we're doing on a daily basis is going out there for the kingdom and making that first and foremost in what we do. And when we set out to build this company and with the other 3 companies that are involved that put us together, we all had pretty much the same vision of that, how it was going to be built and the foundation we were going to stand on to build it. So.
Well, you mentioned, obviously, Live Ag is a video platform or a digital platform where you market cattle, but there's also an equipment section, which is pretty new within the industry. So can you explain kind of how that came to be? Why didn't you guys just go all in on livestock? Why did you feel like equipment was another good way to connect people?
Well, livestock is the one we know from me and Jason. Livestock is the one that was comfortable. And we've always told ourselves, or I've told myself, if you ever get comfortable, you get complacent. So we built the livestock side first because that is what we knew. So we targeted the video sales because that's what we grew up doing. We targeted the purebred sales because that's what Jason grew up doing. So that side was it's growing at a pretty good pace, and not saying we've taken it for granted, but that's the side we know. So we're comfortable there. They kind of brought an equipment side to us. One of the partners is Tennessee Farmers Co-op, and they own a couple of joint ventures, and they're going to have a big slough of equipment to offer through our platform. So we decided to go the equipment route too, not only because it was out of our comfort zone, because it is a good business to get into. And it fits right into what we're doing because we do have a kind of a similar built-in buyer base because we do business with farmers and ranchers all over the United States. And who don't need a tractor? Who don't need a combine? I mean, if you're doing both, who don't need a hay baler?
If you have cows, unfortunately, you need equipment too.
Who don't need to get rid of one? Or who needs a side-by-side? Or who needs to sell a side-by-side? Or, it's just, that's the way we looked at it. We could mesh both deals together where it was the best of both worlds and we could give them the best technology out there. That's one thing that we do got to remember that, yes, we're in the livestock business, we're in the equipment business, but we're also in the technology business. So the tech that we use has to be the best tech out there. And that's one thing we're going to pride ourselves on. We partnered up with some guys that have some really, really good tech, and it's cutting edge stuff, and it's new. It's pretty neat. When me and Jason first sat down and looked at it, we were like, wow, we didn't know some of this existed. So we were pretty excited to team up with them guys and go out and be able to build it to our specs. And we're in the process of still doing that. So our tech's changing daily. You could look at it today and look at it 2 weeks from now and say, well, that's different. Well, yeah, because we want it to always change. We want it to always get better. We're always trying to update it and take customers' input and put that first where we can make it a better experience for them.
Oh, I feel that so deeply just because of what we do at Of the West. And it seems like we are continually, once we publish something out to where job seekers can use it and employers can use it, it doesn't stop. We then start basically like reinventing it, because we know by the time that we change things, or, some little bug happens, or, time changes and new features need to be added, like you constantly have to be working on it in the background. Even though the product that you have out there for people to use is absolutely perfect, if you stay complacent, like you said, and you aren't continuing to build on those new things, you're going to get behind rather quickly in the tech space.
Oh, real fast. And on the cattle side, on the selling cattle side, it's not like we're reinventing a wheel. I mean, people sell cattle every day, and there's several different ways to do it. It's that we want to have the best tools, the best platform, the best tech out there to do it, and make it so much easier on the customers, buyers and sellers both, that they want to fall to our tech because they say it's so easy to get through and it's so easy to use. And then on the livestock side, it's a lot of relationship based too. I mean, that relationship goes back a long ways. I mean, I've got people that, yes, they're my customers, but I consider them family now because I've been doing business with them so long. I mean, they call me and I call them for advice. They call me for advice on different things. And it's a big family we create in this industry that is pretty neat. It's not seen in a lot of other industries the way the livestock industry creates a family-based atmosphere. And that's one thing we want to kind of keep it. So.
Well, on the topic of advice, you mentioned in the beginning in your background of just how much your dad, Russ, played a major role in obviously the early days of video cattle marketing, and then in you and your brother as well. What kind of advice or lessons did you learn from him that still really guide you, whether it's in life in general or just in this new venture of live ag?
Honesty. That's the main thing. Just be honest. Any problem can be fixed as long as you're honest and upfront, and fix it as fast as you can. Any issue at a delivery, any delivery issues at all, get on them, get them fixed right away, and be transparent upfront. There's nothing that's ever too big that can't be fixed. It's all on how you handle it and how you go about it. Be kind to others and trust in God.
Ooh, those are all good lessons.
Yeah.
You've brought together a team that really shares a lot of professional history. A lot of you worked together at Superior. What was it about that group that made you want to build something new together? What was it that made you want to bring them in with you? How did that work? Because that is really unique.
Is that their ambition and their drive. We kind of cherry picked the ones that we felt were comfortable with and we believed in. Not saying that there's others that aren't still there that we believe in and we would trust with our life. It's just we were able to take a handful that we could grab that trusted in us is the main thing. I mean, step away from something like that to build something new, they had to have a lot of trust in me and Jason as well. And they're out of the box thinking on a lot of them. The way they don't just stay in a rut. They're always thinking of different ways to make things better and different ways to build things. The team we built is, in my opinion, second to none. We've grown at a really, really fast pace in our tech, and in our purebred side was just the growth on that was substantial. As of now, I was talking to Jason earlier today, I think we've sold over 155 or 160,000 cattle since we started, and we're not even a year into it yet.
Holy cow.
That side of it went pretty fast too. And it kind of caught a lot of us off guard but it was a good deal. It was a good deal to have to figure out. We created some partnerships with some companies, like Elite Livestock Marketing from out east. Jerry and Daryl and Wesley and that group were amazing. And then some key guys come on board, Dennis Mesker, Jimmy Lambert, CJ Page, some guys like that to help us market these cattle. CJ's kind of my right-hand man on marketing cattle. Jimmy's out east up there, and he sells a lot of cattle private treaty and a lot of cattle through our platform. And then the UPI bunch, they bring a lot to the table. They're one of the three owners. They own a multitude of sale barns out east. And then they got a core group of guys that they put on to be live ag reps also. So that's one thing we're tying together is we're going to tie together a big sale barn network to broaden our space too. So, I mean, we're just in the beginning stages. So we're excited how it's growing. We're getting a lot of eyes. We're getting a lot of new people on board, a lot of new books of business that we've seen some weak spots where we were to where we needed to attack to go try to find some guys out that way to get more cattle. So that's kind of what we're doing.
I love that. Well, and especially because when you mention out of the box thinkers, it's not necessarily easy to rally a group of people around a new vision. Like, yes, they were all rallied around the same vision, but this is a new vision and you guys want to be doing things differently and not necessarily reinventing the wheel, but you don't want to be doing it the same way everybody else is because that's not going to make you guys stand out as a leader in that sector of the industry. So what has really been key to getting everybody aligned and kind of pulling in that same direction and not necessarily in the, well, this is how we used to do it and more forward future thinking?
We have a Teams call once a week with each individual head of our departments. We started about a month ago, and we go in there and we ask them, what do we need to do different? As first and foremost, what do me and Jason and Mike need to do different to provide you with what you need? And then it's an open session, so speak freely. And then another thing is I tell them all, I mean, I don't care if it's a HR nightmare or not, but I tell them all we have to keep God first in what we do and look at it in that realm as we're moving forward on, okay, if we handle this way today, are we doing it in the right way? Are we doing it in Christ-like? And seeing the people's motivation and the people's reaction to doing that, to motivating them that way, has been pretty cool. And they just want to work twice as hard for you when they know you'll roll up your sleeves and go to work with them. I mean, there's not a day that, I mean, me and Jason, we go ship cattle, we'll go work purebred sales, we'll go wherever we need to be to fill in. Because we have grown so fast. I mean, so it's nothing for me and him to be somewhere on the front lines doing it ourselves. That changes a lot of the guys that work for you and the gals that work for you too, because they know that you're not too good to do it yourself. And in turn, they want to work for you and they want to make you successful. So we strive ourselves on that. I mean, we've got Margot's over our purebred deal. She's phenomenal. Her and Blake, and Blake's her second in charge underneath her. Then we got CJ that's over our LAX. And some of our rep management stuff. We got Dennis Mesker that's over some rep management and recruitment. We got Whitney Anders and Mitch Hickey and Shauna that are in the offices that are taking care of all the deliveries. Whitney takes care of all the banking and the stuff like that. She's in charge of the new creations of tech for us to do. We're building some platforms to do all our CRMs and stuff. She's right in the middle of that with a man named Chance Ludwig. That's a phenomenal young developer. He's amazing. Then we got Mike Borshaw that's kind of an overseer of everything, that's kind of watches out over us and kind of keeps me and Jason out of trouble. And then you got Katie Holder, which is over our marketing and just does all our Facebook stuff. And I think you've communicated with her to get this deal done. So
yes,
she's pretty cool at what she does. She has her stuff that she makes look amazing. And then we work closely with the marketing team at TFC to do some of our marketing stuff also. And then we got Justin Stelzer that's over our equipment. So that's kind of our team. Can't go without noticing them and mentioning them. So that's kind of our breakdown of our team. So if I forgot somebody, they're going to really, really mad, but I don't think I did. So
hey, yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, this is by no means an equivalent to giving an awards speech, but you're destined to accidentally and very unknowingly leave somebody out. So yeah, no foul here.
Yeah, no, I think I touched them all, but they all do key roles. I mean, that's the thing. We're growing at a very fast pace, so everybody has to have multiple hands in what we do. I probably did forget one because Michael Bainig, he's our production manager of all the videos and stuff, and he's the one that cuts all the stuff for Katie for the podcast, and he does puts up all our videos on our online stuff and does all our editing for our video sales. But we all might wear multiple hats. Just like last week, he was out trying to buy some stuff for us to haul stuff around in, so he had to go travel to do that. Or then he'll help Whitney put stuff up on site. And then everybody does multiple things. We're not just all stuck in our own little circle. We all don't mind getting out of our circle and helping. that's what I love about the team that we built is they will do whatever they need to do for the team, and they are all team players. So,
Well, and that's one of the things that I love about being a small team is I think it makes you nimble with corporations, right? Like they can't necessarily, if there's a good idea, they don't necessarily get to change what they're doing to like, oh, let's do that or let's build that. It takes a lot of people because it has to filter down the chain. If you have and I'm not saying you guys have a small team by any means, but comparatively speaking, right? You guys, I feel like because you're newer and you are also interconnected with one another, if you see something that, hey, we need to be doing this or we could do this better, it's not as difficult to make that change and be really progressive and nimble versus when you're a bigger company. I feel like that is definitely one of the things that is maybe a downsize.
yeah, because as we're building this tech and we're doing it right now, we've learned that, well, that's not how we used to do it. Well, so these guys are trying to make it easier and better for us. So would you try it this way and let me know what it looks like? 9 times out of 10, they're like, why haven't we been doing this way? It's what we're trying to tell you. Let's go through it before we don't like it. How about that? Let's try it before we don't like it. That's a luxury we have because we are building it. So when they tell us they don't like it, we'll try it first because we are building it and then customize it. Let's see how you do like it. That's another thing. They're being able to put their input in, and that's big to a lot of people to be able to, okay, I want to try to do it this way. What do y'all think? We consider their ideas. So not only are they on paper part of the team, but physically they're part of the team because we're building it all together. So we're throwing all these ideas in it at one time, and then we're coming out with this product that had 10 different people's input and just the blend of all 10. So it's naturally that's going to be better than most because you have the blend of all 10. They're all top of line people that do what they do in their business. They're all on the higher scale. And so we're getting input from people that people are seeking after to tend to their business. So we're getting the best of both worlds there.
Oh, I love that. Well, and it just allows so much more opportunity for innovation. On that note, I definitely can't let you go anywhere without talking about the cattle market in general. But what do you think is going to happen in the future of cattle marketing? You know, whether it's how cattle are sold, how buyers interact, you know, how technology plays such a critical role. What are you most excited about? Where do you think there is the most opportunity for progress or change in our industry?
I think, you'll always have your traditional sell barns. I mean, there will be some that go away and some that get bigger when they do, but you'll have your traditional sell barns for sure. You'll have your video companies like we do today. A lot of it's going to go, in my opinion, to some online platforms, to listing sites, so you can get a broader spectrum of buyers. I mean, that's one thing we do offer is a nationwide buyer base. And a lot of people continue to go that route because of that. So do I see in the near future anything changing drastically? No. I see a lot more people maybe choosing online platforms and video sales than they do traditional sell barns here before long because some of them won't be able to continue on because of headcounts and number buys. I mean, we're getting tight with supply. That's why in the market, we're seeing the market do what we see. I don't know. This market's wild. I wish I had a crystal ball and could tell you here, but we're living in unseen times and it's kind of scary of what some of these things are costing. But we do see it going to stay. It seems like it's going to stay for a little while. You talk to all the smart people out there that are smarter than me in this, and they're like, it's here to stay for just a minute. We will see some downturn in some of it sometime. But as far as inventory getting built back up, we're not nowhere near that. I don't even know. It don't even feel like we've started. When we see, I was talking to my brother the other day, and he still owns and operates Buffalo Livestock there in Buffalo, Texas. And he was telling me his percentage rates of his heifers and steers, he said, we haven't seen it change, Ty. It's not, they haven't started to keep them yet. And if he's seeing it, it's kind of, in this area, it's kind of the norm, then they're all seeing it. So we've not seen a lot of the heifer retention. We might have seen some, but nothing like what it's going to take to rebuild what we've lost. So, and we've killed a lot of cows in the last 5 years, a lot. So I don't see the numbers building back anytime soon to change what we're doing here. There could be some black swan event that happens that nobody can control. But other than that, this market seems to be here for just a minute. So.
No, well, and I think too, we were in a deficit as it was. And then you have these things like those Texas Panhandle fires a couple of years ago and big fires out in the Northwest this past summer where I mean, that additional liquidation and just overall loss, that does make it even more of a difficult rebound.
Yes, that is correct. I mean, we lost a lot of cows to fires the last 3 years up north and in the Texas Panhandle and throughout Montana and South Dakota and up through there, Wyoming. I mean, they lost quite a bit of them, so that don't help things.
No, but you're right. I mean, I would love if you had a crystal ball and could tell us all what to do,
Me
but
too.
it is a very wild time. And I think you're definitely right because it is going to take us a long time to rebuild those numbers back to where they were. But then also, I mean, we have this growing population. So maybe even numbers where they were aren't adequate anymore and they will have to get even larger than they once were. So it's a really interesting time.
Another thing on those numbers is, yeah, we might can get close back to where we were, but we're losing ground every day. I mean, we're losing farm and ranch country. We're losing crop country. We're losing ranching country every day. That was one big topic of that common grounds deal that a bunch of cattle industry leaders got together here about a month ago and discussed. That was one of the big topics is how do we retain our ground and how do we allow future generations that are coming up to afford to get in it, to afford to buy the country, to afford to own the land, to continue to ranch and to continue to farm when the land's worth so much to do other things with. So what do we do and how do we step in there as an industry? As a cattle industry, we're very reluctant to ask for government help or anything like that or any programs like that. And we just really reluctant to do that. But we might be in a time that there might have to be a subsidy deal done for some of this ground to keep it in farming and keep it in ranching, that they might have to come up with an idea to subsidize some of that cost so people can stay in the industry and we can provide the beef for America. I mean, there comes a day that we got to look at where we're going to get our food from, and they better go to thinking about it pretty quick. So,
no, absolutely. I mean, even here, it seems like there's any kind of grazing ground and it doesn't take long before it's a subdivision, whether there's adequate water there for a subdivision or not. I think about too, yes, it takes country to run cattle, but I think a fewer people are thinking about the water element of it too. Like, where is that water coming from? And obviously with the change in climate, which nobody can refute that, right? I mean, our weather pattern here has changed. So how are we going to continue to not only provide more people food with less resources, but where is the water coming from in that?
Yeah, I was with a Texas house guy that is on the House of Texas, and he was talking about that was a big issue coming up they were trying to get pushed through was a water resolution bill in the House of Texas, and it was a multi-billion-dollar deal that they were going to have to try to reroute water and capture water and pipe water, and just so we can keep up with our growing population in Texas. That's something a lot of people don't think about, but it's a big issue right now is water. Where are we going to get the water to supply the crops, to supply the cattle, and supply the people? I mean, so if they don't get to work on the infrastructure of that right away, then yeah, we will be in a big jam.
Amen to that. Okay, I definitely can't let you go. Since you won't pull out your crystal ball for me, it's fine. But we have a rapid fire round. So these are the same questions that we ask every guest, with the exception of this first one. What is your favorite cut of beef? Where are you ordering it? Who's cooking it? What's on the side? Give us the details.
New York strip would be my favorite cut.
Okay. Are you going out? Are you cooking it? Is your wife cooking it?
I'm going to cook it.
Okay.
Either I'm going to cook it or my dad would cook the best one, but he's not with us anymore. But yeah, my dad. And then my mom would make some, and my wife can make them now too, some scalloped potatoes.
Okay. New York strip and scalloped potatoes.
And broccoli and cheese casserole.
Okay. What do you hope people remember most about you?
Oh, man. You know, I share this a little bit in our men's study and our men's group we have here tonight at my office, that hope they remember me as a God-fearing man and a great father and a great husband.
What is a non-negotiable in your life?
Values.
If you were a professional athlete, what would your walk-up song be?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even listen to radio. My wife and kids get in the car and they have to turn it on. I wouldn't know.
You just sit in the silence?
I do. And spend time and talk with God and just drive down the road and figure out problems in my head.
Well, and I can also tell you this. If you're a businessman, if you're a rancher, and if you're any kind of in cattle marketing, your cell phone is basically glued to your ear at more times than not. So it would make sense that you couldn't be in a vehicle and listen to music because you'd never make it through that 1 3-minute song in your entire drive based on all the times you had to answer your phone.
Exactly.
Okay, what's the smartest thing somebody's ever told you?
Smartest thing somebody's ever told me. My 4-year-old daughter told me one time, put my boots back on and go back to work. She was getting in trouble at the time, but it was a pretty smart thing, I thought. When she come up with it, I thought, you know what? I had to turn my head because I didn't want to laugh in front of her. I really wanted to bust her butt, but she put your boots back on and go back to work. And that's pretty fitting. I mean, that's what we got to do. Put our boots back on and go back to work.
I bet she is going to conquer the world in her lifetime.
She's a spitfire, I tell you.
Okay, last question for you. Let's talk about favorite things. Do you have a favorite book, maybe a podcast, a service, some product, a life hack? Something that's changed your life that you think more people should know about?
I keep turning everything to this, but there's a reason behind it. The Bible. I mean, I just, if you'll get in it and you'll stay in it and you'll live by it, and then the good Lord will provide for you.
Oh, amen to that. Okay, I know I said that was the last question. We actually have one more. If somebody is listening to this and they are interested in the opportunity to market their cattle through Live Ag, how do they do that? How can they find their local rep? Can you give us the process for that, both commercial and purebred?
If they'll go to live-ag.com and go to our website, there is a reps tab, and it'll show the lists of reps that are all over the country. It'll list their states down below them, so they can go do it that way, or they can email us they can email me directly at ty@live-ag.com.
Okay, awesome. And then live-ag.com website. I know that people can connect with you guys over on Facebook and Instagram as well. Well, I'll make sure that we drop those handles in the show notes for you guys. But Ty, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to share that we didn't get to touch on?
No, just want to thank our crew, thank our team, thank UPI and TFC and Oxen for trusting in me and Jason, and thank my wife and my kids for supporting the decision to do this. So.
Hey, I tell you what, any good idea definitely takes a spouse's undivided support. So she's a good one, I can tell.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you. Hey, you guys know you can find us back here next week with a brand new episode of Leaders of the West. So until then, stay tuned. We'll catch you then.
If you loved this episode, do us a favor and share it with someone else who might find just as much value in it as you did. We're on a mission to continue to grow and strengthen the future of agriculture and Western industries, and you spreading the word helps us make more of a positive impact. It also makes a big difference when you take a minute to go rate and review the show. We can't thank you enough for listening, for sharing, and for loving Ag and Western as much as we do. We'll see you back here for our next episode.